Well, Consolidated Infrastructure Holdings was formerly known as Buildworks Group and originally listed on the JSE in 2007. The company builds high-voltage electrical substations through its power distribution subsidiary Conco. It has a market cap of 1.5 billion rand and a price-to-earnings ratio of 9. Consolidated Infrastructure Group, where are we going with this one? Is it as exciting as Equestria? And it looks as though I've got some movement from Ian Cruickshanks.
Well, I was going to start off with a shake of my head, but I don't.
But you were nodding. I thought that was an
I was doing it this way.
enthusiastic.
That's a shake. Nodding is up and down. No, I don't think so. Look, it could be a strong growth area. I don't know if they've got enough of the big contract experience to say it's going. Where's the big development going to be? Not just in South Africa, in Africa as a whole. Are they committed to that? Are they suited to it? I'm not sure about that.
Can we get a bit of a more positive story from you, Chris?
Look, I think it's positive. I mean, 85% of the revenue and their profits are coming from the electrical side. And that has to be a growth area, both here and in the rest of Africa, given the fact that electrical reticulation, is in a parlous state across the entire continent. And it shouldn't be in such a parlous state as it is here, but we know the reasons why it is. But nevertheless, I think it's well positioned. So conceptually, at least from a big picture perspective, I think it's well positioned. Yes.
What's your biggest concern with Consolidated Infrastructure Group?
I just want to go on what Chris was saying, just thinking about that. New capital investment has got to go into power, into generation of power. And I think that means longer term, it's got to be positive. I just don't know enough, that they've had enough experience in what's going to be really big developments to know that they can cope with that.
So perhaps a wait and see then. They've got to build up that experience before they can capitalise on the money that will be deployed into this environment.
That's right. And I think, the private sector in South Africa, when it's come to the power side, has not had a particularly good period. That I'm absolutely confident will change in years to come, purely because of necessity. But the track record of a lot of the companies in this field has not been that wonderful, and it's not their fault either. I think it's because of a lack of commitment by the authorities in various jurisdictions and not getting them involved.
Do they have a strength of balance sheet to carry them through this period?
I don't know if they've had the work to build that up, and I think that's the problem. I think management has a big stake in the company itself. Just looking at that's a positive sign. It means if they've got a lot to lose, they've got a lot to gain. So as far as the actual capital involvement is, I don't think they've got a lot of access to capital that they could call on immediately.
When management does have a big stake in a company such as CIH, is that a positive thing generally? I mean, because you would be thinking that they put their money to hard work and that really is their money, so they're not going to be making any mistakes.
Yeah, intuitively it really is a good thing. And I have come across very few, if any, instances in my experience in JSE listed companies where the management puts its own money in and it's committed, and it really means it's in there for the long term. It's unlikely to get up and go walkie somewhere else.
Yes. And this is also another positive. So are we selling you the story? And I see we're gathering momentum.
Yeah, but far-out chances are unlikely to be taken. And that reinforces what Chris is saying. If they've got their money in it, they're not going to take wild chances on contracts which are out of their reach. So
that we've also got to, that's a positive thing, but
yes.
Again, I suppose if you don't take risk, you don't get the reward.
Yes.
How about that side of the argument?
To an extent, yes.
Let's go with this one. Are we hot or not on Consolidated Infrastructure Group? Chris Gilmour.
I'm fairly hot. I wouldn't say it's a raging buy here, but I'm fairly positive in it. Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you a lukewarm on that. It sounds like a lukewarm. Ian.
I was going to say a warm. So there we are.
Right.